I was asked the other day why there's so many poor people out there in the world today. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. We are creatures of habit. I think that's one of the biggest things. I can see family after family in my hometown that I've watched generation after generation. If it was a poor family to begin with, I've seen generation after generation be poor and poor. And then all of a sudden, somebody will pop out of that family and they'll make millions of dollars. There's reasons for this. There's a lot of reasons. But being a creature of habit, what I mean by that is sometimes people just find it easier to stay in the hole that they're at instead of trying to get out of it. Okay? Some are poor because of circumstances. Maybe I have friends that some have bad medical reasons that happen to them and they end up in wheelchairs and stuff like that, and where it wasn't of their choosing. It's just things that happen. So you have that. A lot of people are uneducated. And today, if you have access to the internet, you have a huge advantage over people that don't. You really do, because there's so much information out there on the internet today that people can get and educate themselves versus the people that don't have the internet that struggle because they're just not aware of all these things. When I talk to my parents, for example, about all the things that are out there and all the different business models and stuff that there are, things to get into, they act like I'm talking Greek to them because they don't understand it. They don't realize all of this is out there, right? Because my parents are older, they don't have the internet. That's just a part of life. There's just so much information out there to be had. And if you do have access to the internet or your phone, like you're watching this right now, there really isn't an excuse for you to pull yourself out of that debt. I think it was Warren Buffett that said, if you're born poor, I feel sorry for you. But in this day and age, if you're still poor, shame on you. So he was meaning you should be trying to get yourself out of that rut. So not everybody wants to do that. I'll tell you this. I know that people that have businesses tend to be more successful than those that don't. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And one of the biggest reasons that come to mind is having a job, to me, stands for just over broke. And it's always been that way. Like every time you get a raise, inflation would come up and it'd take that raise away. And then next year you get a little bit of a bump and it comes along and it takes that away. Those are all reasons, and there's plenty more. But end of the day, I highly recommend leaving your job at some point, getting a side hustle started first, make your own business.